Happy Saturday. Good morning.
To others who are in India.
Wow, amazing. Feel free, guys, to turn on your video. You don't have to, but we would love to see your faces. Hi, Renu. It's so nice to see everybody's faces after I've seen your names for so long.
Fiona Fernandez.
Yeah, Fiona Fernandez. Let's see your lovely faces, guys. Sorry, I've muted everyone. Only because it can get really noisy and we may not be able to hear Sarina, but I'll turn off the mute at the end. Wow, Sarina, that looks amazing.
This is my collection for all the past years. I've been wearing this for the East Indian social.
Yeah, amazing.
It's a pretty one. It's got like all fish on this.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I only have one. It's called a lugra, right?
Yeah, it's called the lugra. It's the 9 yards.
Yeah.
And of course, I have put those little flowers. I wanted to put one on my hair, but I said that's going to be too much.
I have those too. In fact, I hope that this thing goes away and we can actually have the East Indian dances here.
I know. I hope so.
And that's the only time I can wear my lugra.
Yeah. Okay, Prema, hi.
Hang on, I'm just admitting people as we go. We'll see a lot more people coming in.
Oh, that's...
Hi guys, welcome. So nice to see everyone.
Hi, Gnello.
Everybody's muted.
The name to me. Hi, Charlene. Hey, Robina. She's from New Jersey.
There's Blanche.
Yeah.
Guys, if you have questions, there's a chat function in Zoom. If you've never used Zoom before, you can just feel free to put your questions in there and I will relay them to Sarina. At the end of this, I'll turn it off so that we can hear you as well. But for now, we'll just muted everybody.
Okay. So,
hi, Rowena. It's so nice to see everyone's faces. Wow.
Blanche.
Blanche and I were just on another Zoom call. We were actually doing fit camp.
Yeah.
Rowena and I are childhood friends, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hi, Blanche.
How are you? Sarina, you'll do great.
Okay. Awesome. I think we're ready to start, eh? So we don't get cut off. What do you think?
And knowing that this obvious reasons, this pickle is called the wedding pickle because basically it's made just before the wedding, the East Indian wedding. However, now there's no excuse. We can make this pickle any time of the year. However, for all of you who don't know, Karen and I, we live in Toronto, Canada. And the weather conditions that we have over here, it's still cold out. So basically, for this recipe, you need to dry the papaya and carrot in the sun at least for 2 hours. So I tried, today it's a nice day out, but it's still a bit, nippy. So I dried it in the sun for 2 hours. But before that, I applied salt and turmeric. So for this, I've taken, this recipe is for about 50 people. So I've applied about 3 tablespoons of salt and 2 tablespoons of turmeric. And I've cut it in such a way that, it's like small little slices.
Can you hold one up?
Yeah, I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to get my gloves. So these are the slices that they need to be cut in. Can you see that? And they're just roughly like not very thick and not too thin too. So you cut the papaya, and the main thing, you have to have the papaya outside green, because if you don't have that and if it's just slightly yellow, the papaya part of it inside is going to be yellow, and that's not good for the pickle. So make sure the outside of the papaya is really, really green. So yeah, so I got that. And then, so let's go with the ingredients. So for this recipe, if you guys want to note that down, obviously we're going to just type it later on and send it on Facebook. So I have used equal proportions of carrot and papaya. So I've used like around 1.5 kgs of papaya, 1.5 kg of carrots. Now, if you don't like much of carrots, you can, increase the amount of papaya and, and so on and so forth. I've used then dried dates.
Dates, wow.
So this just gives it a little bit of sweetness to the pickle. So this is how it looks. They're dried, like, see, dried.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
So yesterday, this is the first day of Ramadan, right? And I was looking for dates for Mac to break his fast, and I found this old box of dates. Dates, they dry out, and I was thinking, what am I going to do with these dates?
So if you want to make them soft, what I did is that when I was boiling the vinegar, I just dropped so the recipe is 10 dry dates. So I dropped the dates in the vinegar as it was boiling, and I let it cool. That's how it gets a little bit softer. But if you want to use it, Karen, for something different, you can even boil it in a little bit water. But make sure that, you drain off every bit of water from that and pat it dry. And it really gets a little bit softer. So I have used 10 dried dates. Then I have used, this is mustard. It's split mustard. It's called in India, the name is dry Korea. Yeah. It says dry Korea, and it's basically used for pickles. You can use them in mango pickle and even vegetable pickle. So this is one of the ingredients. It's called the split mustard seeds.
So just a quick question, Sarina. Yeah. Blanche is asking, so if there isn't any sun, which, very often in Toronto there isn't, is there an option? Could you put them in the oven to dry up?
No, I didn't do that. So what I did yesterday is that when I was cutting them and I applied the turmeric and salt, I put that in a colander, like a strainer, and I let it drain the whole night. And there was a lot of liquid that came out because I added salt. So there was a lot of liquid that came out. And this morning, I just put it in this thala and I let it dry out. So nothing in the oven, because if you put it in the oven, it's going to cook. And we don't want that.
And if you're East Indian, you must have a thala.
Yes, you must have a thala. Okay, so then the next thing is chilies. I have basically, now you can put as much as chilies you want, because it's something that's just, colorful in the pickle. So I have put about 20 to 25 chilies. And all you have to do is just slit it. Just give it a slight slit so that every bit of the brine of the vinegar goes into it. The same goes with ginger. These are slices of ginger. So I have used, like, say, 25 chilies, and I've used about 150 grams of ginger. And this is how I cut that, like just thin slices. And this is something, everybody loves. This is garlic. And I have put that on a toothpick. But, yeah, it's a toothpick, because you don't want to let the garlic go inside, because sometimes then people are just going to eat it and get that garlic in their mouth. But we put it in such a way that if somebody really wants to have the garlic pickle, then that's how we put it. And they just get, like, it's like on a toothpick.
Wow.
You just cut slices. Now we in Canada, Karen, we get this big garlic.
Yeah, gigantic garlic.
So what I do is that I slice them. And then I put that on a toothpick. So this is another 150 grams of garlic. And yep, so that's what this is all. And then I have to make a brine, as in vinegar. So for this, I have used 3 cups of apple cider vinegar. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
I know back home in India, you guys may be getting this now in the big stores. It's the apple cider vinegar. It's so tasty and delicious, because I use this for everything in my cooking. And it's really appropriate for this recipe, because you really need good vinegar for this thing. Back home in India, I love the vinegar that we get back home in India, because that vinegar, I still remember there used to be a guy who used to come from Manori. And he used to come on the cycle with little barrels. And then we used to go with our empty bottles down and fill it. And he used to come in once every month. And I'm sure these guys are still doing that business back home. But if
where are you from, Sarina? From
originally born in Bandra, Boren Road, and when I was in probably grade 5, we left to go to Orlen Malad, and that's where I grew up all my years over there.
Any other people from Orlem? Put up your hands.
I think I saw.
There. Woo! Shout out.
Oh, do you know? Okay, I can see. All right, so that's all the ingredients that's needed for this recipe. Okay, so yeah, going back to this. In this, I had 3 cups of vinegar. So what I did, I put that in a vessel, and I put about half a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, and maybe 1.5 teaspoon of salt. So you bring that all to a boil, and then you just turn that off. And it has to be cooled, not hot. Because if you put hot stuff into the pickle, it's going to cook that pickle. So yeah, so that's the ingredients. So if you guys still want me to repeat it, it's 1.5 kgs of carrots, 1.5 kg of papaya, 10 dried dates, 150 grams of green chilies, 150 grams of ginger, 100 grams of garlic, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 2 tablespoons split mustard seeds, 2 tablespoons of turmeric powder, 3 cups of apple cider vinegar, half a cup of sugar. So that's the ingredients. So now it's.
And don't worry, if you didn't get that, we will post it.
We're going to put it up. So now the main thing. This is a tub. And I know back home in India, we have something called the earthen pot, the teazar. So back home in India in those days, the people from Gorai, Uttam, they make it in that teazar because you cannot use a metal because acetic vinegar doesn't agree with any vessels. You guys know that. For a reason, it'll turn into rust, and that's not good for the pickle. So I always use this tub, and it should be like a wide mouth, so it's easy to mix that every day because you're going to mix this thing up for 5 days.
Wow.
And it's going to be stirred every 4 hours or 5 hours in a day. Daytime, not night. You don't have to get up in the night and do that. So when I say mix it every 5 hours, do it during the day. The reason is that whatever brine, the vinegar that's on the bottom of the tub, you will notice every day when you are stirring it, the brine is getting lesser and lesser. Why? Because it's getting infused into the vegetables. And you will see every day it's getting less. So yeah, so that's the reason you need a wide mouth kind of a tub. Could be round, it could be any kind of shape, or even the earthen pots back home. But because it's big quantities, I know you don't get that big earthen pots. So the best thing is for you guys, if you're one, let's use a plastic tub.
Okay. Sarina, does this tub need to go into the fridge at the end of the day?
No, everything
is out. Okay.
Everything it's going to be out for the whole 5 days outside.
Because I was thinking I would have to buy a bigger fridge.
No. So when it's after 5 days, what you have to do is store it in a glass jar. If you have the barnis, yes, another word in our East Indian language is the barnis. They're like the light brown, white barnis.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, you remember that? So you can store it in that or a Pyrex dish. Yeah, so that, and you can keep that out at room temperature, or you can put that even in the fridge and it's good to go. So let's start.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty all this into the tub. That's the first thing we're going to do.
Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to type them up in the chat and I'll keep an eye on those.
So that's yeah. So see, at least it got a bit dry and it's not wet because I drained it the whole night outside. And then the next step is now we're just going to add everything in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the split mustard seed, which is around 2 tablespoons.
Hello to everyone that's just joining.
This is the ginger. We're just going to add all of the ginger slices. If you want less ginger, it's up to you. Doesn't matter. We're going to add the chilies now. And we're going to keep the garlic for last. Yeah. So this is the dried dates. You see now how soft they are? See? And it's infused in vinegar. So it's even better. So there goes the 10 dates. One extra, it's up to you, no problem. And give this a nice stir so you get everything mixed well. And you just pour it into this. If you have all your prep work, done, this recipe doesn't take time to get ready. And then what you do is you just give it a nice stir. So you have the salt already that was put into the vegetables to dry, and then I added another 1.5 teaspoon in the vinegar. So if some of you guys don't like too much salt for any reason, that's fine, because the vinegar is anyway going to be, making up for that. And see, you just stir this. Now you see a lot of liquid down here. All this liquid is going to go away. It's going to be infused eventually after 5 days into these vegetables.
Quick question, Sarina.
Yeah.
Reena's asking, can you use, instead of plastic, can you use those foil trays? You know, the foil trays you get in the
No foil trays, no metal.
Okay.
No metal stuff at all.
Okay, so it'll react with the vinegar.
It's a plastic tub. That's the closest that I could say, because I know we don't get earthen pots. I do have one from India, but they're very small.
Yeah.
So if you're making something, who's the person that asked this?
Reena.
So Reena, if you're going to just make this for the house, you can even use your Pyrex dish. It's glass. So if this quantity that I've given you, the recipe is for 50 people. So accordingly, if you're just going to just try it out, don't do this recipe for 50 people. Try a lesser quantity, as in just half kg. And I think that half kg would be good in your big Pyrex dish. So you can make it and even keep it and store it in that Pyrex dish. But no to metal at all. Okay? So so this is how it's going to be. Now when every 4 to 5 hours, you have to make sure that you stir it and try to get the ones that are at the bottom, and then you turn it around. See? You do this and you turn it around. You go like this and turn it. So you know that after 4 hours, whatever was down is infused with it, and this, after 5 days, it's going to taste even better, and all the liquid is just going to get infused into the vegetables. So on the 5th day, that's on the last day, when you know all the brine is gone into this, that's when you add your garlic. Do not add your garlic right now, because the same thing, I have noticed that when we put garlic into acetic vinegar, it turns green.
Oh.
Did you ever have that problem, Karen?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I have done this in the past. I have seen this for weddings, and I used to look at it. It was not green, because that's how they used to do it. Just put it on the last day of when it's ready. The last day, just toss it into this, and then give it another stir, and let's just leave it. And then your pickle is good to go. So see how simple is that?
So would it turn green if, like, once you stored it in the fridge and then you put the garlic together with?
No, it won't turn green then.
Okay.
Because you're not infusing that garlic with that brine. That brine is already gone.
Right.
So you're just going to keep that with this pickle, and then eventually a little bit vinegar going on that, but it's not going to turn green. That's what I have noticed. But if you guys are not comfortable with that, you can skip the garlic. But according to the tradition, these are the ingredients that we use for this pickle. So any questions?
After 5 days, if
Yeah.
there's still liquid left, would you throw that away or would you put that in the
Don't throw
bottle?
that because that's the brine that even if people put them in the bottles, and what they do, they shake it.
Ah,
And then, it's the brine that's settled down, but, they keep turning it upside down, and then the brine goes into the other parts of the vegetable. And you do not have to throw that. In most cases, there will not be any brine, but like you said, if somebody just puts extra vinegar, don't be scared. It's fine. There's nothing wrong.
okay.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna unmute everyone now so that if they have any questions. Sorry, you were saying something?
No, that's it. I said I'm just giving you a look at what it
Oh
is.
wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And the green chilies just gives it a nice color. The dates give it another sweetness to the pickle besides the sugar that we have put in. But yeah, this is something that most of our East Indians, most of our dishes are prepared way in advance because the reason it tastes even better.
Yeah.
So for weddings we have like vindaloo, sarpatel,
Wedding
pickle, all made way in advance.
The dates that you put in, did you put them in whole or did you cut them? And is it better to cut them?
Whole. No. These are now what I cut. I cut them into kind of strips.
Ah, okay.
So you see, I'm going to hold it because I have the gloves on here. So you see, I've cut them like just, cut them into 2 halves, get the pith out, and then you just slice them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm unmuting everybody now. They're doing really good for time. Sarina, thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
And guys, make sure, if you don't know, Sarina does home catering out of her home. So feel free to, buy all of these amazing delicacies from her because I know she is the best in the business. So thank you so much, Sarina. Really, really appreciate your time and your expertise.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
There's my cousin, Glennis, and I'm blowing a kiss to my
And
favorite.
this is my mom.
Hi, Glennis.
Yeah. And my mom too.
Hello, Auntie.
Hi, Auntie Virgin. How are you?
Hello.
Very
She's
good.
another queen of the East Indian pickle.
Hi, Sarina. Hi, Sarina.
Hi, Auntie. How are you?
Who's auntie now?
It's good to go. No. That's wait. Okay.
Who's with
Guys, any questions?
Hello.
Sarina?
So are you going to do this again with another month or something?
Well,
Of
we have
course.
to ask Karen that.
Of course, absolutely. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. What would you like to learn? That's a good question.
Fugyas.
My God.
Well, she's the queen of fugyas.
Okay,
So,
No doubt about that.
yeah. Fugyas. What else? What else? What else are you guys interested in?
What do you want to do? What else do you want to do?
100.
Chit-taps. How about chit-taps?
So, however,
Awesome.
it all depends on Karen. We can probably
We can absolutely do it. Yeah, we can absolutely do it.
and everybody has been asking for fugyas. Yeah, I would like to do that. So,
Pan rolls also.
Pan rolls.
Pan rolls? Okay.
Potato chops.
How about
Yeah.
roti?
Now I'm
That's
getting
one,
hungry.
Terry.
Hi.
That's one thing in the hundreds I've still not, come to perfection in that because that's a lot of work. And I've had some people who do this. I know quite a few of my friends. Doctor, she's good in handbreads. Here in Canada. And back home, I have few friends who are so good in that. But handbread is something so serious that I would want to learn that. So you see, everybody is learning. I'm not perfect in everything. I am still learning too.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody learns things, and I was just saying earlier that so many people have been trying new things. Like my friend Angelo, right here. Look at him, looking so. He's been amazing. Like he's learned so many things, and he blows me away
Uncle
sometimes with all
Percy
these
saying
things that he's
Bocat
making.
over there.
Yeah, we made pizza last night too.
Yeah, I saw that. It was amazing. Kazi, you've become quite the cook.
Yeah, inspired by my Kazi cook.
Yeah, you know
Karen.
what? Everyone has to inspire each other, and we have to keep going.
So we have the East Indian on behalf of the East Indian kitchen table. I would like all of you guys come join us. People who have not joined us on the East Indian kitchen table, because we have a lot of beginners. We have a lot of people who are learning, and we have quite a few recipes put up there. Some recipes will be different because, of course, everybody's mom was the best. We all learned that from our moms, and they know best. So if something is different in your recipe, don't feel bad. Put it up because we're all learning.
Yeah.
And another thing is, my friend Karen, please join her Cravings Food Adventures.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I do. She's a good cook too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
she's a good cook. She tries out all different kinds of stuff, not only East Indian and Goan, but she tries all different.
Everything. Yeah. And guys, just on that note, I'm really close to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a big deal for me. So if you haven't subscribed, please also share with your family and friends. It's free and it's a lot of fun.
Yes, it's a lot
Thank
of
you, Karen.
Support Karen because she's really amazing.
She is. I second that.
Thank you, guys. You are all my support system, and we'll get each other through this.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Sarina.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarina.
Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful.
Take care. This recording will be on Facebook, so you can catch it
All
later.
my Orland guys. Mwah, and the band rights too. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye, Sarina.
Thanks for joining us.
Welcome. Bye.
Thank you, Sarina.